Today's episode is brought to you by Vatican Holy Water. Stay tuned to find out more. Good morning, fans and viewers of The Silly Spectrum, the podcast that brings you anything and everything we got on our minds. I'm your host, Wyatt Singleton, and today we have a bit of a special episode for you all. As you might have seen by the title, today's topic will be about the Salem witch trials and hysteria throughout American history. Our first special guest for today will be a real-life witch. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is T-Dog Hammer. I'm 55 years old, and I am a Salem witch.
Why do you think they accused you of witchcraft?
The reason why I think they accused me of witchcraft is because I figured out a mathematical equation they thought that it was impossible to solve. And so when I solved it, nobody believed me, and people thought I got my knowledge from the devil himself. Therefore, I was arrested.
Can you do anything witchy?
Yes, I can. Watch this. Look, see? It was flying.
My name's John Piper, and I'm 79 years old. Back in Salem, I preach the word of God, and I made it my duty in our town to rid this town of these dang witches.
What does hysteria mean to you?
To me, hysteria means acting out of character with no common sense at all.
Were the witch trials real or just mass hysteria?
You know, people keep saying Salem was hysterical. I can see where they're coming from, but they're all wrong. These women, they were really witches. God, I tell you, on my word. For example, John Proctor saying he ain't a witch, because I know he was. I saw him do gnarly things at night, man. He was playing this card game by the devil called Uno or something. Spooky, I tell you.
Let's start off with the witch trials. What are the witch trials, or what were they?
Witch trials were essentially Salem witch trials that we are specifically talking about. They were women who were doing the glory of the devil, and we were all worshiping Satan and his followers to eternity, and we were all being killed by the terrible Christians who wrongly adjust us, but we were doing good.
Now, John, what do you have to say about this?
To me, the Salem trials were a way of weeding out the devil worshippers in Salem. We had countless ways of figuring out who were witches and who were not. Multiple books and worth of evidence on them. Many say the trials were unfair and didn't have much logic behind them, but to them I say nay.
Many claim that the witch trials were actually just hysteria, you know? It wasn't actually real. There were no witches, right? I personally believe I'm somewhere in the middle. I don't know what's going on exactly. I'm just here to interview. But a lot of people say that it was just make-believe. It was pretend, you know, like John Proctor, you know, Abigail Williams. He was saying how she was pretending and how Betty Harris was pretending, you know. It's a whole thing. What are your guys' thoughts on this?
Well, I think Abigail, she manipulated all the people.
Right, some people think it was hysteria in the witch trials, but to me, I don't think it was. I could see how some people would think that. You know, some people went a bit too far. You know, John Proctor was a good man. I don't think he deserved to hang. Great name, by the way. But I feel like most of the other accusations were fair and just. You know, that one nurse, I know she killed those babies, but that wasn't hysteria. That was just cause and effect, common sense, you know?
Are you tired of dealing with devilish influences and the supernatural? Frustrated that your local priest, pastor, or any holy teacher gifted with God's light are always unavailable until Sundays? Well, not to worry, because now you can cleanse this world of evil within your own home. Introducing Vatican Holy Water, the solution to all your satanic problems. Pour this on anything evil, and it'll be gone just like that. A swig of this stuff will wash away any sins you may have instantly. Vatican Holy Water is not responsible for any holy water-related injuries. Side effects of purging evil may include severe burns, nausea, and taxes. Check the link in the description to find out more. Let me just redefine hysteria for you guys in case your thoughts and opinions might have changed. According to Wikipedia here, hysteria is a term used to mean ungovernable emotional excess and can refer to a temporary state of mind or emotion. Now, would you guys have considered yourselves to be hysterical at the time of the witch trials?
Well, at least in my case, I got burned and I was resurrected later, and I caused a lot of hysteria during my time. Now, I don't know about Abigail Warren, but I think she did a very good job.
I don't think I personally was hysterical, but there were a lot that were, some of the Christians. Like, for example, one of the tests they did where they threw a witch in water and saw if they floated. I don't think that was very Christian of them. I think that was an example of hysteria.
You mean you don't think that was just of, what you guys did back then?
I mean, I see where they were coming from, but I think it was a little over the top. I wouldn't have done it myself. I would have gotten a strong, good confession out of them to prove they were a witch instead of doing these meaningless tasks.
And how would you have done that?
I feel like their methods were just unscientific and unchristian in many ways. I would have talked them out of their own selves and give them rehabilitation.
Now, you said something about something being unscientific. Are you a man of science yourself, Mr. John Piper?
I mean, I believe in common sense, but throwing women in water and see if they float is just, it's hysterical, for lack of a better word.
When people talk about hysteria, they typically talk about events such as the witch trials and the Red Scare. A very popular example of mass hysteria of today that we talk about a lot was the coronavirus that appeared in 2019 and is still a little present today. A lot of people couldn't really figure out who had it, who didn't, whether the vaccines worked, whatever was going on with the government. A little bit mix of political stuff and health issues. And what do you guys think about this?
Well, I think during that time, a lot of people were very nervous about whether if the vaccines were working, if it were to cause like cancer or any deadly disease that it might inflict upon someone. Like the pro-Democrats, for an example, they would be pro-vaccine, and a lot of Republicans were anti-vaccine because they had different beliefs on whether if it could work or not. And, all the American people were very split upon this matter, and we would fight against each other on this issue of the vaccine.
I feel like some of the examples of hysteria that COVID caused were the mass buying of products such as toilet paper and other necessities, which led many to be without it. Also, the anti-vax movement was also a great example.
How would you guys say this might relate back to the Crucible, the play about the witch trials?
Well, a lot of times the Republicans would think that the vaccine would cause autism or disease in people. And that's similarly just like in the Crucible play, where Danford thought that I think either Mary or Abigail would cause like disease and harm to people. Like, remember when Abigail was trying to kill I forget the person's name, but Abigail was trying to like kill this guy with a potion.
Oh, John Proctor.
Yeah. I don't think it was John Proctor.
No, because
It was like some other guy. But what do you think? How it relates to the play?
I think it relates to, like, once again, tying back into the mass hysteria. It got over exaggerated a lot with like what witches could do. The vaccine for COVID, it was massively exaggerated, the side effects.
Mhm.
It did cause like drowsiness and a bit of nausea, but people said it would, like some people said it could kill you, cause autism, which is,
Yeah.
I don't know where they got that from. But it ties back into the Crucible by saying how the witches interacted with people, I guess, and like the crimes they did to such like children, babies,
Yeah.
and people around.
So you guys are saying that it was over exaggerated?
Yeah, I mean, in Act 1, we remember the daughter. We thought that she was possessed, but some speculated that it could have been like a mushroom disease, the reason why she had like those spazzes.
Yeah, the
And stuff.
fungus in
Yeah.
wheat and barley.
Yeah.
Or just like pure, it was like boredom.
Disease or mental disabilities, like anything like
I
that.
think it could have been like a disease at first, but after a while, with like the whole group of girls, they were definitely acting out of boredom.
Well, that's it for today's episode, folks. Do make sure to check out the Vatican Holy Water, the sponsor of today's video, in the description below. I hope you enjoyed listening to the Silly Spectrum podcast, and I will see you next time.